Recording in progress.
Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late, dropping gems. We've been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy. Yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight. Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late, dropping gems. We've been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy. Yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight.
Men's is wildin'. We're back.
Turn the mic on. How's it? Yeah, fix my lineup, man. I acted like my watch got like my hand.
You're tripping. Part 2. We just got done with our digging in the crates. Now we're moving on to Insomnia Hour. We got a lot of TV to cover.
Wake me up!
Hey. I don't know why I was waiting for more, but I was waiting for more.
Before you go.
You know,
because it is that time of year.
You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for the old lady from Sing, bro. I'm waiting. I was gonna forever live rent free in my head. Forever. She was behind the whip like
it was like take a right. She was like, what? Okay.
She forever had the apple in that. All right, we digress. All right. First thing first.
I pop up freaks all the honeys.
You want to go with stuff you watched and stuff I've watched that the either of us have not watched, or we're gonna go to collaborations first?
I feel like we gotta save the finale stuff for the end. Like Andor's gotta be the last one.
All right, so let's start with Wednesday.
All right, so you did not watch Wednesday.
I have not watched Wednesday, but what interests me in watching it was the fact that I did not know the main character was played by a Latino young lady, which is pretty dope. Which I never understood.
Jenna Ortega.
There you go. Which I never understood because even in the old Addams Family, it kind of seemed like the dad was Spanish.
His name was Gomez, bro.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's just like, I don't know, but I think it was pretty dope seeing that. I think she does really good with the character just based on the clips that I've seen. I did see, again, the TikTok trends with the super crazy kids dancing through the... Oh, no, sorry, that's Matilda.
Through the hallways.
Yeah, through the hallways.
She does the one dance at like her homecoming dance.
Yes, the homecoming dance. That's what I meant to say. And I think it was pretty dope because she made... One thing that I found out is that she choreographed that herself.
Yeah, and it was like a couple days before.
It was a couple days before. Nobody gave her those moves, and she made sure to pay homage to the old with the little box step, the little stanky leg move. And it's crazy because a lot of people, I won't say they're not paying attention, they're not cultured or anything, but people are just now figuring it out that she was paying homage to the old Addams Family with that dance move. Because as soon as I saw
that brings me back to Vine, bro.
Yes,
remember I used to send you that,
bro.
Here comes that bullshit.
I said Vine. Oh my goodness.
That's what like when they used to play that clip, it would be like flocka flocka, like yo. She used to hit that leg.
Yes,
it was crazy.
Yes. But as soon as I saw it, I was just like, yo, this makes me want to watch the show. But I have not yet, so you go ahead and tell us what it's about. Well, because I know it's not the regular Addams Family premise.
It's specifically centered on Wednesday.
Yes.
So Wednesday stars Jenna Ortega. Mm-hmm. She starred in a bunch of Disney channels, Nickelodeon stuff, like way after my prime, so I couldn't even begin to tell you what show that's on. Right. I wish I could tell you who everybody plays, but it's like I know Luis Guzman plays Gomez Addams. Okay. Catherine Zeta-Jones plays Morticia.
Okay.
The kid who plays Pugsley, I don't know who it is. Like he's kind of like barely in it. Mm-hmm. And then Uncle Fester is played by Fred Armisen from SNL. Okay. Other notable people in here, Christina Ricci's back in there. Like she plays like just a random teacher. And then our girl, Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones, plays like the head mistress. But what pretty much happens is, so besides Wednesday, a lot of the family dynamics in here are different from the Addams Family that we know. Mm-hmm. So like Pugsley is very, very different. And it seems like, so her and Pugsley go to the same school. Mm-hmm. Pugsley is getting bullied by a bunch of other kids. Wednesday takes action on them. And because of that, she's expelled. So she has to go to Nevermore Academy, which is where Morticia used to go. So like she's kind of left at the school without the Addams Family, except for Cousin Thing.
Yep.
That's about it.
Okay.
So it's kind of just like her fitting into the school, but it's more or less like the school having to fit around her because like she's very, very comfortable and firm in her stance. And in her early days there, she happens to come across a murder mystery. So it's kind of like her solving this murder mystery, and like that is what drives the show. Jenna Ortega
So
as
like Addams Family meets Scooby-Doo.
kind of. So like the thing is like the school that they go to reminds me of. Do you remember the Scooby-Doo had like a Halloween special? And it was like they would go to the school, and it was like in the school there was like a werewolf kid, there was a vampire kid, a mummy kid, and stuff like that. So like they have that like at this school, and it reminds me like kind of Harry Potterish because they're broken up. They're broken up by like classes. So like you have like your werewolf kids, you have Gorgons, I think they're called, which is kind of like, think of like Medusas. So like they have like the snake hair, they have like the eyes that like if you look into them you turn to stone type of deal. You have sirens, and I believe that they're vampires, but it's like I don't think that they're really ever talked about like that. But Wednesday witnesses a murder like on her first day, and a new creature kind of arises from that. And like I'm not going to lie, the CGI on this monster was very, very poor. Like it reminded me of like the Scooby-Doo live action movie and stuff like that. Like I was like, oof. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna finish the show.
Not the oof.
Like I was like, oof. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this all the way through, if this is what it's gonna be looking like. But and it's like that itself does not get better, like that character and like what that character looks like. But that character is so few and far in between that it's like you don't even get stuck in that. Like you are more there for this mystery and Wednesday herself, because like her character is very enjoyable, and like Jenna Ortega bodies this role. Like this is like I think the gold standard for Wednesday Addams has been the Christina Ricci version from the movies, right? For the most part, unless you were on a TV show. I used to really, really like the cartoon. Like that was my favorite Addams Family. But like, I think that there's a debate out there is like, is she the better Wednesday than Christina Ricci? Like this, like Jenna Ortega, like there's only very, very few instances where she smiles or things of that nature. So it's like she's very monotone, very like dry the whole time, but she's very like sharp and she's smart and she's all that stuff. And it's like everybody around her is like, damn, bro, like what's wrong with you? Like
Very Wednesday.
Yeah, very, very Wednesday, stuff like that. Like she kills it. If there was like a problem that like I had with it, it's like it seems like some of the other people don't really fit. Like I was like, the Pugsley isn't very Pugsley, but it's like he's not in the show very often because like Wednesday's away at school, so like you only see Pugsley like a couple of times when the family shows up for the most part. So it's like, you know, it's kind of excusable. The Gomez, I didn't think, like, as much as I like Luis Guzman, especially like as a comedian, I didn't think he was a very good Gomez. Yeah. And like, you know, the scenes like where you're with him and like he has to say like very serious stuff or whatever, like it just doesn't come off like that because like he's known for being such like a dirty comedian type of deal that like when he's trying to be like real sensitive and all this other stuff to Wednesday, it's like I don't see it type of thing. And it
also feels inappropriate, right?
It's not even like that. It's just like you're not like, I don't feel this.
Right.
Like it's just very much like, and then it's like he has like a little bit of a lisp to the deal too. So it's like that doesn't really do it. And it's like I feel like my Gomez is always like, you know, he's very boisterous and he's very like I'm God, and like he's doing stuff like that, and then he's like all over Morticia, like cara mia, like doing all that stuff, and it's like he's not really like
I love
that.
the way you treat your God.
It's just, and it's like, you know, like so like you miss like that part of it, and like I thought Luis Guzman, like that would have been the most thing for him, and it's like he's very, very like reserved, and it's like, so that kind of bothered me. But I liked Morticia. Thing is probably like my favorite character, like the whole thing, and it's like that he can't even talk, he's just a hand, but it's like the way people talk, it reminds me very Star Wars-ish, where it's like you never know what R2-D2 is saying, but by the way other people are talking to R2-D2, you know what R2-D2 is saying, and it's the same thing where things doing like, you know, he's doing sign language, I am
Groot stuff.
Yeah. Yes, it's very
I love when that man says I am Groot. Everybody's like, whoa,
yeah, what's wrong with you,
language? Like, oh yeah, okay.
Someone's on timeout.
Right.
I won't spoil like the other people that do show up or things of that nature, but 100% sign me up for season 2 of Wednesday. Like I thought the show was very good.
100% is valid.
Yeah, I bodied it in like 2 days. I think it's only like 8 episodes.
Hour?
Yes, there are hour-long episodes. I bodied it in like 2 days. I I don't want to say like it's childish or kiddie because it's not really like that, but it's like I could definitely see this being like a teen show more than a show for like adults. But because we have that connective tissue of the Addams family in general, I think like we just dig into that more.
You're on fire with your collaborative words today, man. That means a collective tissue.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But then like not only that, but like seeing people that like Brienne of Tarth is the is the headmaster. So like every time you see her, I'm like, yo, this is what she's doing after Game of Thrones. Like I'm with it. Right. Christina Ricci, like, you know, we all got a soft spot for Christina Ricci. Like she's in there, so like that or whatever. But like, man, this show is white as hell. I'll tell you that right now. Like, but I know Jenna Ortega is the star, and it's like she's a Latina girl, but it's like her skin is also very light. And it's like all it is just like white boys just drooling over her like every second of it. There was also a point in time where I had to be like, I need to look up this girl's age because like I don't like the way that I feel sometimes when I'm watching her. And I think she's like 22 or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm still not looking at her like that. But
she's 20.
Is she 20?
Yeah, she's 5'1".
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, she's a very smart girl.
There you go. Very educated young lady.
Yeah, it's a very educated young lady. Has a bright future.
There you go.
But and at first, like they had all the black kids looking like they were kind of villains in here, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. What you call it? They came around because it was like they got like one of the main
you losing me.
Like antagonist is like a black girl, like she's kind of like the Regina George, where she's the top shit.
Like step up. That's the only way I know how to bring it.
Yeah. That's bring it on, bro. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Burr, it's cold in here. There must be some clovers in the atmosphere. I swear. Jazz hands.
Spirit
fingers. Damn it, I had it.
We'll call it even.
Nah, I'm not. Like,
oh man.
But like, she's the Regina George of the school, so it's like she's a bit of an antagonist just because like she's anti Wednesday. But then like you kind of being like, nah, but like Wednesday's kind of
mean black girl or though, did she?
What do you mean?
Like she comes in just being the mean black girl?
No, she's just kind of like whatever new girl. Like she's doing like that type of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like kind of like any movie, like whenever there's a new kid coming to the school where people are just like, yeah. And it's like, you know, Wednesday's challenging her like at every point. So it's just like, yeah, of course she's going to hate this bitch. So, you know, but it's like, you know, that shit, it softens like a little bit.
Very
like,
nice young lady.
It would be like, yo, if you was working at a job and he was like, yo, what's up, new dude? And he was just like, yo, I can do everything better than you. You'd be like, yo, what's wrong with this dude?
I get paid more than you.
No, but y'all get paid the same.
Let me know when you get.
No, but everybody's talking about like, man, he'd be real good at your job, right? Like, maybe you should take some lessons from him.
Boss, I
like,
need a quarter.
You see what I'm saying?
Just a quarter.
I know I went off on like a bit of a tangent. I think Wednesday is worth the watch. When you're done watching it, I guess we could do our full dive into the mystery itself, and like we'll talk about all that. But like at the base level, I think you should watch Wednesday. It was really good.
Dope. I also started a new show.
What'd you start?
Because like for some reason I feel like there's nothing on TV right now.
We've definitely hit the dead zone.
Yeah, this is like
unless you want to watch the peripheral.
Football's over, basketball's over, like you're waiting for baseball, I guess. It's just like, you know, that little weird
World Cup has been
World
killing
Cup was fire. World Cup was fire. Yeah. It's like, and Argentina is mad disrespectful.
So disrespectful.
Mbappe, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Did you see about the thing where they had the parade today in Argentina and they had to helicopter Messi out because like he couldn't
leave? They were on the highways.
Yes.
Imagine trying to get on the Mass Pike to go to work, and there's mad people on the Mass Pike and you can't even.
They're not even in their cars, bro.
I feel like nobody went to work that day.
They didn't.
Nobody went to work that day. Human beings on the freeway.
And nobody went to work in that city. Nobody went to work in Argentina, bro. Like they all were there.
They're like a scene out of The Walking Dead. Like the herd is on the move. Like
World War Z.
There's nothing you can do, right?
They had to helicopter him out. That's crazy.
Out of control.
But I'm sorry. I digress.
Yeah. So I started a show called Tulsa King.
Is it the Sylvester Stallone?
It is the Sylvester Stallone movie.
I've actually heard pretty decent things.
It's
a movie or a show?
It's a show. It's a show. Right. It has my attention. So
how many episodes?
About 5, 6, maybe.
Oh, is it weekly? Like it's still going?
Yeah, it's weekly. Yeah,
okay,
it's still in.
So I can catch up if I need to.
Definitely. Okay. I think the episodes are maybe about 40 minutes long.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I want to say if I'm reaching, I might say 7 episodes in.
Okay.
All right. it stars Sylvester Stallone. He's a mob guy who just got out of jail. Supposedly there was some murder that happened. He didn't say a word. And Gunna, you can take notes. I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. And he comes home after the 15 years, and like everything's changed. Like the guy that he was running with is like the older dude. His son has taken over. His son has like his little young flunkies with him, but they're still like trying to honor the mob ties, but they're not giving him nothing to come home to.
Oh,
so they're like, there's
okay.
nothing here for you. He's like, I just did 15 years for y'all, and there's nothing for me to go home to. So they're like, no, we're going to give you your own territory. So it's kind of like a slap in the face because I'm only looking to come home to everything that I've been away from.
Like the promise is,
right.
Like when I come back, I don't got to worry about nothing no more.
Right, but like
now you tell me I got to go to work.
Right. So they send him to Tulsa, and they want him to take over Tulsa and then start giving them weekly funds from Tulsa, like some mob stuff.
You know what I mean? But also some bitch work. So it sounds like
exactly. There's a really good scene where the young dudes try to test Sylvester Stallone. He goes full Rocky on him. It's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. So
is it better than the Iron Man Sylvester Stallone one that we watched at one point in time? Was it Samaritan or something like that?
It's way better than Samaritan. I want that time back.
You know what? Back. I said Iron Man, but what it really was like Shaquille O'Neal Steel. Remember that? It's like that's
man, it's like Shazam.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But so yeah, he ends up going to Tulsa. His co-star in the movie is a young black male. I haven't seen him in anything else.
I'll look it up.
Please do. So he ends up Ubering Sylvester Stallone from the airport to the Tulsa area, and he's just like, "Hey, instead of you doing this whack Uber job, how about you just become my driver?" Sylvester has him buy a car, and he just ends up being his driver, and now he becomes like his partner in everything that they're doing.
Okay.
Let me see what you got there. Nope, go up.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see no young black kid. I'm assuming he's one of these pictures.
Yeah, he's probably one of these pictures because his name Tyson. It might be Tyson. Yeah, so I don't know why he doesn't have a picture there. But Jay Will is his name. And then it has the OG dude. Yep, that's him. So his name is Jay Will.
Apparently he's on Love and Hip Hop. The hell?
Love and Hip Hop.
That's it?
Shoot, I don't know. Oh wow, okay. Somebody from Love and Hip Hop made it on the Tulsa King.
I think these are two different Jay Wills. I'm looking at him. I was just like, I don't want to be the all black people lookalike guy. But I was like, I'm looking at him. I was like, I don't think them lips is the same.
I mean, listen, he said no hair there, and then he goes from beard to a fro. Who knows? But he does do a good job with his co-starring role. I like the fact that they didn't just white up the show. Okay. You know what I mean? And it also has the black dude. Dang, I'm trying to think of what he was in. Go back to the cast. I know as soon as you go back and then go all the way down, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about.
Damn, bro.
Bang, him right there. What's his name?
Michael Beach.
He's been in a number.
Oh my goodness. He's constantly like somebody's father.
So, and guess what he plays in this show?
Is he the black his father?
He's the black his father. So he's like, oh, why are you hanging around this mobster? You don't need to be doing all of this. We raised you better. Yes. Yeah. He was actually the motorcycle leader in Sons of Anarchy for the Black Motorcycle Club. You never watched Sons of Anarchy? That's fine. We digress. But I would say that it is an enjoyable show. Sylvester's not doing like mad out of reach stuff like in his other movies where he's just like
he was in The Harder They Fall,
lifting up cars and throwing stuff and all that extra stuff. He was in The Harder They Fall.
Yeah, he plays one of the kids' dads. I think it's the quick draw kid. He plays his dad in that movie. Oh yeah, the last guy was talking about. Yeah, he gets murdered in the beginning of the movie. Yeah. Yes, definitely. So he actually but Sylvester Stallone is actually playing his age in this movie. He's like an old dude,
a 7-year-old old mobster guy, and he's trying to live. So there's like some funny nostalgic stuff because when he got locked up.
It's crazy because I'm looking at this cast and like a lot of them are not really known for a lot of stuff.
Nah, exactly.
Like there's like Herc from The Wire, but that's like kind of it for the most part.
That's kind of it. And he's the son for the other mobster guy, and he has hair on his head, which makes him look weird. But like Sylvester, as a matter of fact, he didn't do 15. I think he did like 25 years.
Okay.
But like when
damn, bro.
Right.
Damn.
So when he comes home, there's like there weren't computers, like they weren't using cell phones. Like at one time, the dude was like, "Can you call a cab for me?" And the lady was like, "Won't you just use your Uber?" He was like, "What is Uber?" He was like, "It's the app on your phone." He was like, "What app? What's the app?" So I was just like, he has those funny old guy moments in the show. So
Mr. Cartagena, you do realize you're being sentenced to 25 years in maximum penitentiary. You said 25 years? It was Brenda, Letitia, Alicia, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, and Alicia, Risa, Monica, Sharon, Nikki, Lonnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. It was all.
Yo, this brother's tripping.
all
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. Excuse me, I didn't get my soda and my McDonald's shit.
Right.
This brother's tripping.
We're going to be in here for a while.
Oh my goodness, yo, this brother's hilarious, man.
25?
Listen,
I'm about to be 35. That means I would have went in when I was 10.
Yeah.
You came out now.
he might have went in. I think in the show he went in when he was like 50, so he comes home he's like 75.
50?
It's at 50.
I don't even know if I'm making it to 50. What, in at 50?
Yo,
I don't know. Yeah, they would have found me in my hotel room, hanging out.
hanging out, tripping. But yeah, so it is a good watch. Like I said, they don't overdo it in any way to where you're like, come on, bro, you're 70 years old, you're not supposed to be doing this.
But like he puts the pauses from Young Brothers though, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of like some quick OG type stuff where they're like
Denzel Washington and he got game.
Yes, bang, real quick.
Yeah, my hat gone.
So was that homie's breathing ability when he chopped that
out
throat?
my fat
It
range.
was like, who's taking care of Lala? Huh?
Yeah.
It's like,
Who gonna take care of Lala?
who's gonna take care of that man's esophagus?
Yeah. For real.
But it is
He's
definitely worth a watch.
You daring.
In this time where there's not a lot on TV, if you have a movie, I mean, something that you're looking for, this is definitely a good show to pick up.
My goal for the new year is to come up with a tier list for this. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I think must watch is easy.
Yes.
Where it's like you must watch this, but then it's like, you know, we got in the queue.
Yep.
Like, you know, like back burner stuff like that. Like we got to hammer that out. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you think it goes into what range?
I think this is a good filler.
Okay.
Good filler show.
Okay.
So it's like if you don't have, that's why I said if you don't have anything going on,
so you on the bench.
It's not anything that you watching. I won't say it's on the bench. Like it could definitely go into rotation. It's probably six man.
Is that what we're gonna do? Are we gonna do basketball terms? No, because if we do basketball terms, you know your boy's in there. He's a role player. That's a role player show. They don't get 6 man
is better than role.
You don't give him too many minutes, but it's like, oh, so it's 6 man, not role player.
Right.
Okay. All right. I could trust you running the second team for a little bit.
Yes.
Like when all the starters is out,
come back from injuries and stuff like that, you can hold it down and get us some wins until everybody get back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we figured it out. Yeah.
I think we definitely figured it out. So that's what we're going with. I'm gonna say this was definitely a strong 6 man type of show.
Okay. I'm excited now, just because of our new
smile
verbiage.
On your face.
I'm excited. I'm excited just because of new verbiage. Like I'm with it.
Right, right. I feel like this is gonna go so far too.
So far, you have no idea.
Like this is MVP runner up, not MVP.
When we get to Andor, it's all NBA. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So with that being said, we'll go on to the peripheral.
You want to talk about the peripheral?
Yeah, as you said, you wanted to leave the finale stuff for last.
Are you caught up on the peripheral?
I think I'm 1 episode behind.
So should we even bother with it? Should we wait until you catch up?
We can scratch it.
Because like I don't even know if that episode was the finale or not. Matter of fact, you keep talking. I'm gonna see if that episode was the finale.
Well, until then, we could just put it in our peripheral and just make sure to keep an eye.
That's how I watch it.
Keep an eye on it. I like that. All right. So aside from that, we have Abbott Elementary. That wasn't the season finale, was it?
It was not.
And it was not. All right, so we can go to Abbott Elementary.
But it was their Christmas episode.
It was their Christmas episode.
I mean, yeah, go through it while I try to figure out if that was the finale of the peripheral.
All right, so this episode of Abbott Elementary is the Christmas episode. The several different things that are happening here are like why I can't remember the names.
Janine, Gregory.
Well, I know
Ava.
Janine and Gregory and Ava end up at the club. Barbara, and what's the white teacher's name? Melinda have like this thing that they do every year where they have Christmas dinner by themselves together in the staff lounge, and they invited the quirky dude
Jacob.
Yep, he almost ruins it.
I think it is the finale.
Yeah. There's some Christmas caroling going on. It's a pretty. It's classic Abbott Elementary.
Yeah,
It's class. I think.
but we got an A plot, we got a B plot.
Yes, and a C plot, and I think one thing that they're making sure to do in every episode is always keep you entertained, keep you laughing, but they're always addressing some point of trauma at some point in someone's life, and making sure that somebody can get healed or notice something that they may need to address while still being entertained so they can retain the information that they're giving them.
You just hit something.
Mhm.
And I think like what they actually do is they don't heal it, but they just know how to then maneuver around that, or like they know how to support you in that thing more than like try, because that's the worst part is when people just try to heal your trauma.
Right.
And it's like, I don't need you to do that because I'm already in it.
No, you don't understand.
Yeah, it's like, and you won't understand. And that's okay. I just need you to support me through the process. I don't need you to try to fix this thing.
And I know we said this before, just digress real quick. Don't tell people you understand, because even if you're going through the same exact situation, your understanding and their understanding, your perception, their perception is completely different. How you process it, your emotional regulation, all of that is completely different.
Completely.
All right. So it's never going to be the same thing. You can say, I know what it's like to be in that situation. But as far as understanding, you won't know until they share that with you. But we digress. Go ahead.
No, you were doing the plots.
Oh yeah. So the first plot, like I said, is the dinner and the staff lounge.
Yeah, it's kind of like the B plot of the episode.
Yep, that's the B plot. So they invite the quirky dude, Jacob, and Jacob has this trauma around Christmas always being bad, and then he comes in with like, he just almost shows up like Sharif. It's like you shouldn't be celebrating Christmas for this reason.
He's just ruining Christmas for everybody else.
Yes, he wants everybody to feel about Christmas the way he feels about Christmas. He's kind of like the Grinch. Like this is our Grinch of our episode, or he's Scrooge.
That's probably the better version.
Yes,
like
he's Scrooge, and then he has these pivotal moments where he's just like, oh, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. And now all of a sudden he's just like, I can enjoy Christmas. And he turns it around and does not be the jerk who ruins the dinner and ends up turning
it takes our boy, the janitor, to let him know. Like, he's the one that like really puts the hammer on him.
Always cleaning up.
Always. Taking out the trash.
Always taking out the trash.
It always comes back to the trash.
Always comes back to the trash. And your A plot is Janine deciding that she's going to
go out,
spread her wings. She felt like she's been too uptight. The random friend that she keeps having that's like there every 4 episodes or something.
It's like one of the kids' moms, and it's like she's cool.
No. One of the kids' moms is dating Gregory.
No. But she's also a kid's mom as well, or she's an aunt. She's an aunt.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Because like that's what she tells her all the time. She's like, "That's not my problem. That's the mom's problem."
Right.
She's like, she's one of the kids' aunts.
Right.
Because that's how she keeps running into her. Is she keeps coming to the school for stuff.
Got you. Okay. So she ends up inviting Janine out to the club. She's like, "Hey, you got to get away from all this nonsense. You got to learn how to just breathe." She was like, "It's okay to go and hoe it up for the night." So Janine's intentions is to go out and hoe it up.
You had the single friend trying to teach you how to be single.
Right. So she's trying to go out to the club and hoe it up, and then nevertheless, while she's waiting in line to get in the club, who shows up? None other than Gregory. She's like,
with his best friend.
Darn it! Tell me.
He's a rapper.
I don't want to say Mensa.
No.
Dang, it's on the tip of my tongue. Go ahead, say it.
Vince Staples.
There you go. Dang.
I was gonna do this like as a staple, but I was like, I didn't know if you get it. Like, I thought it was
so
gonna be
he
a
shows up with his friend Vince Staples. And now Janine doesn't want to hold up because Gregory's there, and they kind of got this.
Not only is Gregory there.
Well, I'm gonna get to that.
All right.
So she doesn't want to hold up because they have this situation with Gregory where they're kind of like on the fence. They're filling each other out, but they're not really because Gregory's still with old boy's mom, the girl that be coming in mad rash.
Are we sure that he's with her though? Like, I was gonna say because like I know that
there's been a few episodes where he's like, so and so just text me, I'm about to go to her crib.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe I've missed that like a little bit. Like I know like she's on his boots.
Yes.
But it's like I feel like it's never really been confirmed by us that like
I don't know if he unlaced them boots, but he definitely said, "So you can help me put these boots on." So he shows up at the club with his best friend, Vince Staples.
Unleash the boots.
And Vince Staples is like,
I thought you were gonna go with knocking the boots. Like I feel like that was like I feel like that one was right there.
Oh, should have went the other way, right?
Got me rocking the boots.
Missed that moment. But
no, but it's still with like lacing the boots is still. I knew where we was going with that verbiage.
So Vince Staples is like talking to Gregory like, hey, can I holler at Janine? He's like, no, I don't need you hollering at my coworker. Not really saying like, nah, I want you hollering at her because.
Yo, isn't it the worst when your homeboys do that though? Mm-hmm. When it's like they don't want to say like, yo, like I'm kind of feeling her,
right?
But like they tell you that you just can't go with her,
right?
And stuff like that. And it's like,
oh, but like, tell your boy you feeling her because if so, he probably gonna tell her.
Yeah.
But then you messing up this thing that you already got going on.
We gonna get there. We gonna get there. We gonna get there.
Messing up my water rations and my water stash. So it's like
got a main bitch and a mistress.
So through all of this, as if this isn't awkward enough, they do start dancing in the club. They're having a good time. Come to find out, somebody is in there living their best life and killing it, and it's none other than the assistant principal. The principal, Ava. Mm-hmm. And I love Ava's character. I love Ava's character. I think it was that episode where Gregory comes out looking for Janine, and she's that was the episode before when she was sick. Yeah. He came out looking for Janine. He's looking out. She was like, "What are you looking at, Gregory?" She's like,
"My eyes are up here, Gregory."
Right? He was like, "I was looking for Janine, and she's short." And he's like, "Mm-hmm." But I love her character. So she's in the club, and now she's even more uncomfortable because her boss is there, and like he's uncomfortable because his coworkers is there. That's the excuse he's using for his homie not to holler at her. And Ava's queen in the club up like I'm over here. I got. She
didn't even stand in the VIP.
Right. I got a section.
Like, don't talk to me, brokey.
She got a fur coat on. Don't talk to me, brokey. Then when it was outside the club, she was like, "You look like you need somewhere to go. You can hang out with us if you want to." Then her boyfriend pulls up, and it's none other than.
Oh shoot. It's a basketball player.
Yes. He played in Philly.
Stop. Andre Iguodala
hopped out the car.
Because I was like, wasn't it Amari Stoudemire? That was a different show that I watched.
Like, this is the weird Janine you was talking about? You want to know what I noticed out of everything that was going on? She's not that much shorter than Andre Iguodala.
I didn't even pay attention. She got heels on.
She does have heels on, but she only looks like she's a few inches shorter than him. So is she like 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2"? How tall is Andre Iguodala? Look up how tall
Andre Iguodala is
6'8". It's 6'8", bro. So how tall are her heels than the fact that where she's just like right by his eyes?
I'll look for it. Keep it going.
Oh my goodness. So I was like, yo, Ava might have been a ball. It's like, but it was pretty dope. And then long story short, Gregory ends up leaving because Shorty from the parent from the school hits him up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go holler at her. She's at another club." And Janine is standing there in the code, and who comes in to play Super Save Him is none other than Vince Staples. So I want to see where this next episode goes.
Is it the rise of Vince? Is that what's happening? Is he gonna be a staple in this show?
Oh. You see what he's doing? You see what he's doing?
Andre Iguodala is 6'6", and she is 5'1".
No way. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah.
She must have had on 10-inch heels. She was looking Andre in the face, bro.
So then there's another thing right here that says she's 5'7", which is my height.
Nah, it ain't accurate. I need something accurate. This is what I'm gonna do. We know Andre is 6'6".
I got 4 different sites saying that she's 5'7".
I'm still not going for it. All right, so 5'7" plus some heels probably put her at 6'1".
Damn, I thought of these fucking heels.
I don't know, bro. You
wear 6-inch heels. You wear 6-inch heels, right?
Yep. So that puts you at 6'3". That could make sense.
Damn, if I was 6 inches taller, I'd be 6'3".
Yes.
No, bro, I'd be 6'1".
No, you'd be 6'1". Yeah, I'm tripping. I skipped 208.
I was like, damn. I was like, yo, it's been a minute since I've been playing
I went 10-13. But yeah, so I don't know. I just know when he hopped out the car, I was expecting him to be towering them. Yeah. Because Janine was at his knees. I was expecting him to be towering, and she was just kind of like, "There you go, baby."
She was like right here, like say like your kids.
6'6" though, bro.
Hey, you're right.
Even if she's here.
Okay. I didn't think about it, but it was just like, maybe they got to keep him in frame some way somehow.
I guess.
But like also, she was kind of like playing him out. But she was like, that's not my man.
Right.
Like, we've just been together for like 4 years or whatever. But like, he think that he in love. But
Ava's so hood. Yeah. So hood. When she was selling the mask that was breaking everybody's face out, she was like, I told you, non-refundable. But
Jacob was looking crazy.
Right. But yeah, so this, I'm pretty sure this sets up a potential, because this is what, like episode 7, maybe 8.
Yeah, because they took a bit of a break. I want to say that
Right.
was episode 7. Tonight should be episode 8.
Right. So I'm thinking there could be potentially a part 2 to this episode because they left so many things.
Well, there's got to be an aftermath to it, right?
That's what I'm saying. So unwound. So I feel like the next episode would still be Christmas episode, and then like New Year's and the back half of the school year is probably where the finale is. But it's Abbott Elementary. I'm locked in either way.
Are we sure that we want Gregory and Janine to get together?
Hypothesis.
Go for it.
So they don't get together this season. They potentially get together in the next season.
Do they not get together because of Vince Staples?
Yes.
Okay.
And Gregory's with the mom. And then that falls apart. They get together towards the end of next season, which gives you your finale, right? Then the next season, things go really bad to the point to where things break up. People start choosing other jobs, and then that becomes the end of Abbott Elementary. So no, I don't want Gregory and Janine to get together.
Are they going to Jim and Pam it, where they're both in relationships, knowing that they should be with each other? They're going to do that thing. What an ugly Just talk about like
office. Then the office kind of start coming to an end when they finally got married, though.
No, they were together for like the last like 2 seasons, I think. The office,
I guess.
like, you know what I mean? Like, but what I'm saying is like I'm just talking about like in real life terms.
What about Pam and Tommy?
Damn. Well, Martin only had what, 5 seasons? 4 or 5 seasons? I guess. But like what I'm saying is like in real life terms, isn't it like the worst? Like watching 2 people who should be together instead jump into relationships that they know that they're only in, but they're still pining for each other instead of being in the relationships that they like should be in.
No, I get it.
And it's like it's a tough situation to watch, and it's a tough one to like be in. And it's like I think that's what makes for great TV too, is like we all know like what that is, but then like we also know that like one of the main reasons that they don't do it is like the risk factor, because like if it doesn't work,
right?
Because that's what we're all afraid of, right? Is like the part of like what if it doesn't?
Deep down, we're really big, scary children.
Yeah.
And large bodies.
Yeah.
That's it. So the weirdness is still going to be there. The anxiousness is still going to be there. And ultimately, you have to know how to navigate relationships. And I feel like it always makes it weird. Always makes it weird. Laura and Stefan.
You mean Steve?
Yeah, she got with Stefan.
But that's Steve. Because that was the other thing, is she didn't get with Stefan because of Steve. She wanted Steve.
And then Will and Lisa.
That still wasn't the final season though. Like it's like
it was pretty close though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like these things are like those are like the milestones of like these type of shows, right? Is like there has to be like a wedding episode at some point in time. You could do Chandler and Monica, like if you wanted to, but it's like but still like there was a lot of time after that, because like even Jim and Pam, like we had like the whole seasons of like now they're trying to work together and be married. Then it's like Jim wants to get a new job. Pam's trying to get back into her art stuff, and then she's dealing with all this stuff, and then Jim's not around and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, because it's like the wedding doesn't have to be the final part to it. All the wedding does is just open up new stuff, because then now we're in like, because when you're boyfriend and girlfriend, it's like at any point in time you can be like, you know what, this isn't going to work out, we break up. But when you're married, you have to like kind of tough it out, and like that leads to those type of storylines, which are a little bit more like, I don't want to say tangible, but it's like they're a little more real at that point.
Kadeem Hardison.
That show just didn't last that long period, right?
I'm just saying, I feel like when those relationships, now I want to do some research on this. Like when these big relationships happen in the show, do the shows end shortly afterwards?
I think the time frames will tell you a lot more of them. So like I think shows like in the 90s or in like the very, very early 2000s, like that was the way like they were ending shows. Like it was like, we're gonna whatchamacallit, like A Different World, like one of the biggest episodes was like the wedding episode, stuff like that. Is like that's how they ended shows, like, you know, because we wanted to end on like a happy note and so on and so forth. But then I think like as we got older, we got into like the mid 2000s, 2010s, stuff like that. Now we're getting into like, well, now what is marriage? Like, because getting married isn't the end all be all. Like then it's like, you know, we're having kids and like we're doing this or whatever. And it's like, how do we navigate that stuff? And I think like you could look at like just the correlation of like time frames, like how that has changed. Because like even like in general, like family dynamics in TV shows have changed. Like there was a lot of shows like at one point in time where it was like single fathers, then it was like single mothers, and then like now we're in the time of like, you know, you can have step parents and you could do this and like you could do that or whatever. And I think that's how shows morph as they go along.
Michonne and
I couldn't even tell you how that one went, bro. And
they
Rick.
got together to show.
But it lasted 5 more seasons. So like, and apparently they're getting a movie and a spinoff, and they're Power Rangers now. So like, what you talking about, bro? What's the next show, bro? What's the next show? What's the next show? What's the next show, bro?
Like I was playing freaking Assassin's Creed. I'm just gonna keep doing the
Because
same
if
thing.
you want to do that, what about Maggie and Glenn? The show didn't end when they got together and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Nah, to be honest with you, that might have been the beginning of the end. Because that Glenn was, my goodness. All right. Up next we have
Actually, just real quick, I think when the main characters get married and stuff like that, like that's kind of like when it ends. But like when the side characters do it, it's just a different storyline. Because like I'm trying to think. I was thinking of Friends like in general, and I was like, well, Chandler and Monica were together for a long period of time. But then I was like, what about Rachel? Characters. But I was like, Ross and Rachel. Even though Ross is known for getting divorced and like doing all that other stuff or whatever, it was just like
when the main character.
Because like New Girl is like no, I don't know if you ever watched New Girl.
Nope.
It's a good show. You should give it a shot. Nope. Go ahead. What else we got?
Next we have From Scratch.
You sure you want to get into that now?
We have to.
Is there another show that we have before Andor that we can get into besides From Scratch?
Nope. There's From Scratch and there's Andor. Make your pick.
Let's do it. It's From Scratch?
All right.
You know, I've been waiting for you to finish this so we can talk about it.
That Lino. Oh,
so
my goodness.
I'm going to let you know right now we going spoiler on this show.
First of all, if you're in a relationship, man, if you're not,
I told you.
If you're looking to deal with some stuff in your life, if you're looking for something to recalibrate the way you feel emotionally, this is the show to take that, break everything, burn it, regrow it, burn it again, regrow it, and then feel like it's beautiful. Just to cut the roots off. Listen.
Watch.
Emotional dysregulation is not even the I don't even know what to say for this.
I want to say like 3 Insomnia hours ago is when I did the initial, this is what From Scratch is.
Yes.
This is what it's about.
Yes.
Something like that. If you want like that synopsis, I don't know if we can find a way to like put the clip in the description.
Start at 5.
Oh, starting 5
on the wing.
But like what I'm saying is just specifically like if you want to know like the basis of that show, stuff like that, my initial thoughts on it before raising that song, and I was trying to prep people. If you hadn't seen it, watch that synopsis. But now we're getting into spoiler talk. So we're gonna talk about
watch it when you don't have something to do.
Oh, yo, because you're not
gonna be able to do it.
I told you. I was like, yo, whatever I was planning on doing today, I'm watching From Scratch 4 episodes in a row.
I don't know how we ended up with such a free weekend, but we was like, all right, let's start this show because I told you where we was going to. So
you were on a road trip somewhere. You were out of town.
I know. This is when I got back.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm like, let's start the show because I told you where I was, and I want to talk about it for the pod. So Lou never stays up. Like we probably stay up maybe midnight at the latest, and we're pushing midnight. I'm good, but she's like, I gotta get some rest, right, bro? We started the first episode at 9:00. It was 4:30 in the morning when we was like, we could watch these last 2 episodes tomorrow.
As you guys' eyes were puffy as hell from crying.
Fam, look, she was over there and I was over here. By the time we was in the 4th episode, it was like, she get some tissue for you.
Like, you need a tissue on morning?
She taking the tissue I gave her. She's like, pat. Catch that one tear from Johnny Depp, Crybaby, the one tear.
The one single tear. I tried to tell you, this show is emotional porn, bro. Yeah. It's like, you guys want your feelings to run through and get hit with a tractor, like all that stuff. Like, From Scratch is going to do it.
If you told yourself, you know what? I need to release some endorphins. I ain't had a good cry since I was 12. I think I could benefit from a good cry.
Emotional wreck is what this show is.
Mind you, like, even if you're not like tearing down your face, inside your heart is just like, just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just like, I don't want to.
Did this make you watch the World Cup because of Lino? Is that what it was? Out of respect? Because you whatchamacallit. So I just want to point out real quick. So he told me, like, he texted me, he was like, hey, we just started From Scratch. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about Zoe Saldana always with these white dudes, so on and so forth. And all I did was text back, and I was like, what we not about to do is disrespect Lino. So what we not about to do.
She has been with mad white dudes, though.
What we not about to do is disrespect Lino. That's all I'm saying. Right. We can get to the Zoe Saldana thing at some point in time. He's Italian. And I was like,
He is Italian.
Lino's a brother. Like, if anybody wants to talk about like that, like, we're not gonna disrespect my man's Lino. We not.
But I just went back in all the movies that she was in. I was just like,
listen, I just watched Avatar 2, and it was like they're blue, but like that nigga's white.
Yeah.
As Gamora, you was green. Star Wars white. I was like,
the joint with Bernie Mac. Guess who?
Guess who? It was somebody white. Yeah.
And
her and Sanaa Lathan, they get confused with each other and they keep doing the same.
Death at a Funeral.
Oh shoot, she was with the white dude.
Right. I was just like, yo, what is going on?
Who was she with in Colombiana? Is she Puerto Rican?
I don't know.
Her Puerto Rican?
In his hair.
She like what is Zoe Saldana? Now I'm thinking like, is she black?
I don't know.
Because they really just like they put her in any role. Like you just
what Saldana is.
It sounds Spanish.
I don't know. We not.
Like if he was Maria Saldana, that sounds whatchamacallit, like Spanish, right?
Could be.
If he was Keisha Saldana, does that sound whatchamacallit?
Sound black.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, she's just racially ambiguous, like like Jason Momoa.
Zachary Saldana. See?
I'm just saying, man. Like, I don't know.
Go ahead and talk. I got you.
All right, I know I did the synopsis like last time around, so I'm gonna try to like speed through this. But now we're going spoiler talk, so we can talk about what actually happens in the show. Zoe Saldana is a art student who winds up going to Italy to try to learn about the art in Italy, to see all this other stuff before she is supposed to come back and become a lawyer. She winds up meeting a young chef named Lino. And they decide to get together, and they then decide to move back to the U.S. Together. They run through the trials and tribulations of like, just living in a different country than what you're used to. Like Lino doesn't speak he speaks our language, but it's like that's not his first language. Like he's very unfamiliar with
You ready for this?
Go ahead.
Her father is Dominican and her mother is Puerto Rican.
Damn, so she's Latina.
Yeah, Latina.
So she is a Colombiana. Mm-hmm. It all makes sense now. Mm-hmm. And so they pretty much navigate all of the like literally like anything that can go wrong in a relationship, like that's what goes wrong.
Right.
And like their relationship, like you want to talk about like moving, money, jobs, careers, sickness, children, like they literally hit everything on there. That was
family problem.
The in-law stuff is the stuff that was really getting me like at first, because like my man Keith David's in here. And like Keith David kills it like to me the entire show. Body bags this whole show, because that's like
so does his wife and his ex-wife.
Yeah.
They both, and you know who his ex-wife is, right?
That's Vanessa from the Bernie Mac show. Come on, man. I used to have the illest crush on Vanessa from Bernie.
My man. So yeah, I'm trying to remember like his current wife in the show. She's been in several movies too. I just can't remember.
I couldn't pinpoint her.
Yeah,
but her sister Zora is like on the up and up. She's the girl from The Harder They Fall.
Yes,
and stuff like that.
Which it took me a minute to get that, because I'm like, yo, she looks so familiar.
Yeah,
she looks so familiar. I'm like, where does she know? So the first thing I was like, she really looks like the younger sister from Coming to America. It was like, it's like someone has a secret admirer. It's like, but I know that's clearly not her.
Yeah, definitely couldn't.
Then I was just like, she looks like she could have been in Wakanda, because she kind of looks like Suri a little bit. I was just like, why does she look so familiar? Then
now we're getting racist.
I'm not saying that. It's just like, then when she started crying and she made that face, I was like, the harder they fall. The harder they fall. Because I instantly saw her, was like, he was quicker than I was. I was like, oh, I know who this is. And that's when I texted you. I was like, yo, is this homegirl from Harder They Fall? He was like, yes.
100%.
Exclamation. It's
like, waiting for that.
Right. But continue. I'm sorry.
I mean, like, we can hit every single point that they hit if that's what you want to do. Like, they're like kind of like each road of the relationship, or like, do we just kind of want to like leave it up for everybody else to watch it? Like, you let me know how you want to do it.
I feel like this movie
show.
I mean, this miniseries.
Okay.
It's a miniseries, right?
I mean, I would assume. I don't think I think it's just a series. Like, granted, I think it's one season. Like, I think
miniseries. Yeah,
because it's 8 episodes.
7, 8. Yeah.
I think it's 8 episodes. Which long ass 8 episodes. Honestly, I felt like it took me way longer to get through these 8 episodes than I initially did.
Took a minute. I personally, I would not want to ruin the experience for people for this show. I would not want to. That's and look, like, listen, a lot of stuff I could just be like, all right, we're gonna go into spoilers. We're gonna get to it right now. I feel like it doesn't need it.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a problem not doing it.
I feel like it doesn't need it.
But
so listen.
Go ahead.
The wife that he's currently with was in Guess Who? She's in Snowfall.
The hell is she in Snowfall?
I don't know. She's in.
But she doesn't have a major role. She's kind of like constantly a background character.
Dunstan checks in. She's in Bad Hair.
She's in Dunstan.
There's something else that I remember her from.
But regardless of the fact, like, she's not like
she was in The Little Things with Denzel Washington.
What is her actual name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Her actual name is Judith Scott.
Exactly. Like, if it's not, she's not a name brand character, but she's been in the background of like a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
That you have seen before.
Yes.
I had said in my initial assessment, this show isn't for people in weak relationships. I said that. Am I wrong for that?
No, because this is gonna put you through the fire, to the limit, to the wall.
Because it's like
somebody might mess around and leave. Because there's gonna be a lot of looking.
There's gonna be a lot of like
facing.
Would you do that for me?
Would you? Yes.
Yes. Please tell me what you and your wife's conversation were when you were watching the show.
We didn't have any conversation.
Not at all.
It was literally eye contact, hug. We telepathically we already knew where we was.
Because I think that like
we were not talking through this.
Because like you already know.
The only time we did the talking was when we were like, "Do you need a minute?" Yes, I need a minute too. I'm gonna get us some water and pause this right quick. Got some water, refresh, refill the body. Like I'm down like 80% fluid right now. Refresh. I'm like, all right, we're back to it.
Yeah. So like, if you're not prepared to cry, number one, if you're not prepared to like have the conversation or like the dialogue, there it's just like, what would you do in this situation? Don't do it.
Listen, I've been recommending this to everybody. I was talking to
there are certain people where like I know what their relationship like, and I didn't recommend it.
I was talking to a colleague and I brought it up, and she was the one person who had watched it out of all the people who told me she didn't. I was like, "Have you watched from scratch?" This was her reaction. I was like, "You have that breath for dumb long. Give me a high five. We're gonna keep it moving.
My best friend recommended it to me, and she was just like, "I just wanted to let you know that I'm an emotional wreck watching this, and I know that you will be too." And I was like, "All right, cool." I watched it, and I was like, "You bitch."
Yeah. And what I tell you, I will never forgive you for this. I said, I hate you and I love you at the same time. I will never forgive you for this. Yeah. Thank you and F you at the same time. Like,
I don't know how I felt about the finale though. I don't know 100%. Like if I was just like, this is the way that this should have ended. But I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But like that was like the only thing where I was just like, I don't know. Whoever the daughter is, that Amalia, whoever acting wise,
great job.
Whatever award they need to put her up for, she needs to be nominated for. Supporting actress, whatever. I think that like the Oscars should have their own child actor award, where it's just like whether you're a supporting actor or like whatever it is, and I think that she should be nominated. I thought she was phenomenal. Like the way that she delivered like her lines and stuff like that. I was just like, ugh.
They didn't even have her in the cast. Maybe because she's too young.
Nah, I just think that like that page that you're on only allows a certain amount of people to be on there.
Probably.
Pretty sure if you went to the IMDb, they'd have her on there.
That's where I'm headed to.
But yeah, the cast is stellar. The show is fantastic. Is it gonna make your top 10 shows of the year?
Heck yeah.
Say less. I'm excited now. Now I can't wait to see your list.
Heck yeah.
It's not better than P-Valley. No, I'm just kidding. It's definitely up there. And it's like I said, I just came from watching Avatar 2, and I was just like, man, Zoe Saldana is crushing it this year.
Her name is Isla Colbert.
Okay, whatever it is, I feel like she's gonna like she should get some sort of like John Morant award or something like that, where it's like, oh, we already see where this is going type of deal. Like, you know, or like she gets the Victor Wembanyama, where it's like before you even show up, we already know like what type of time it's on. But yeah, I think you're 100% right. This belongs in the starting five.
Yes.
I don't know if you a star player, but it's like you belong in the starting five.
Yes.
With that being said, do you have anything else to say about From Scratch? Anybody who has seen it, please hit this comment and tell me that if we're lying, or if like, because I have yet to meet a single person that has watched it and been like, yo, the show's trash. Like, the show's trash.
First person to complete the series and hit us in the comments, I'm gonna give you a free Heavyweight Bro shirt.
You heard it here. Like you heard it here, folks.
Straight like that.
You heard it.
Straight like that.
And do they get to pick
If
the
you give a
colorway?
fire response, it may be a hoodie.
Do they get to pick their colorway and everything?
No.
Okay, all right, I'm just checking. Even if we don't have their size, we're like, you're gonna get this 4XL.
That's how you gotta get the color based on what size we have left, and what color we have left in your size. But don't worry, all colorways are fire. All right.
Let's move on to the last show.
Yes.
Andor, bro.
Yes.
Andor had its season finale,
It did.
episode 12.
Yes.
I think it's called like Rick's Road or something like that, because like that's the road that they go on for the funeral.
Yes.
Do you want to go for it, or like how do you want to go about this?
I think I really went in on from scratch, so I'm gonna let you have this one, but I'm gonna catch a lot of alley-oops from you.
All right. So I mean, this
make sure I don't. Are you chronologing this episode?
am I
Like, are you going step by step through the episode, or are you just gonna be bringing up random stuff that was dope? Because I don't want to get to stepping on your toes, bringing up something that you was gonna get to.
I'm gonna try to do it as chronologically as possible.
All right, go ahead.
So because like it's been what, 3 weeks almost, like since the episode came out. Like I said, I was in Florida when I watched it. But the overall of this is like, this is the funeral episode. I'm also not very good with everybody's names in this show. Like everybody is kind of just like, you're the brother, you're this person, you're that person, or whatever.
You know names.
Yeah, like
dude with the comb over with the big guy.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, his big brother, and it is person.
Dude, the leg look like it's bigger than the other because he got the boot on for you wear from work.
Okay, so where we're at right now is Cassian is now on the planet.
Yep.
He has found out about.
Was I right though? Remember you asked me a question last time we talked about Andor, and you was like, "Does he show up for the wedding?"
Oh, the funeral. Yeah.
I was like,
He was right. He gets to the planet, and he's now kind of getting caught up to speed about like everything that's been going on since he's been gone.
Yes.
Like he had found out the episode before that Marva had died, because that was the whole reason for him coming back. But then he's also finding out about Bix being kidnapped. He's finding out about like things being sold off, and he's kind of like very confused at like how, like what's working and stuff like that. And like he's also coming to this realization of like just how wanted that he is. And he's, as much as he's a very untrusting person, like he's even more untrusting now because he just doesn't know what everybody's intentions are for him, because like the reward for his capture is so high. He does run into the person who works in the shop with Bix, and like he's kind of the person that runs him down, and he's kind of like the person that hides him away for a little bit. And it's like, that's the Cassian side of things at this point in time. We see Mon Mothma. Can we just actually, you know what, we won't do it chronologically. Let's just go over her plot just in general, because like I feel like it was very disjointed from the rest of it. And I was like, as much as I care about this, I don't care about this because I really care about all this other stuff that's going on.
Okay.
So Mon Mothma is now she's made the decision where it's like, she's like, yo, listen, nothing is more important than this resistance type of deal. She has found out that her driver has been, funneling information to the Empire, and that they're on her back. So she throws her husband under the bus and says like, yo, like you've been gambling all our money away, and like you've been doing this and this or whatever. So like that leads to them being like, oh, this is where all this money is going. This has to be where all this money is going. Then is like because they were trying to figure that out. But there's one guy on the force that's like, yeah, but we still gonna keep an eye on this because some of it don't seem right 100%, and we feel like she might be the person. So she throws her husband in front of the fire to take some of that heat.
He's a sucker anyway.
He's a bit of a sucker and stuff like that, and it's like it's very easy to believe that he is doing it, just gambling money.
Plus she said that I'm not doing that anymore, which means he's had.
He's doing it before.
She knew what she was doing.
She knew. Come on, bro. She ain't stupid. She's a leader of the resistance for a reason. And she's now thrown her daughter into the ring with the dude who's going to do like he's an accountant, I guess you could call him. Like he does like all the money laundering and stuff like that. Like his whole thing is like, yo, he was looking for a betrothal.
She sacrificed her daughter.
She started to realize like her daughter was a sucker, and it was just like, you know what, she might, be beyond saving anyways. So it's just like, it's much more important to me that like this resistance continues.
She's probably more thinking like, I need for this to happen so she can see what it really is and hopefully turn the tide later on in life.
Because that's all she really promised the dude, is that they would meet up. Like she never said that like she's guaranteed to marry you or marry your son, so on and so forth. And the daughter is like, she was starting to do like a whole bunch of stuff like be pro Empire, and she was just like, kind of can't do this. Can't do it.
Right.
So it's just like, you know what? This is, at very least, this will keep her busy. So that way she doesn't pay attention to like what I'm doing. So like that's kind of like the close of like the Mon Mothma story as of right now. So like now we're starting to see she's not pussyfooting around no more. We're really going full on into this resistance thing because the only thing that was holding her back was family at one point in time. Now they're kind of out of the way.
Right.
So like now she could really focus on like the effort that way. So we'll head back to Cassian, and like we're getting like these really dope speeches about the planet or the city of Ferrix. I want to say it's a city. And like so the way that their like funeral system works is like you essentially get cremated and you turned into a brick. And then that brick is then placed in a building in Ferrix. Right. So like although you are gone, you're never truly gone. And it's like you're still finding a way to help the city of Ferrix, which I thought was like a beautiful, just a dope thing or an idea to do. I don't know if I want to be turned into a brick.
I'm stealing the idea.
You gonna get turned into a brick? And put where?
Huh?
And put where?
Wherever that land is that we buy.
Okay, all right.
Wherever that land is that we buy.
You about to be in the outhouse, right? But
It's a different type of brick. Some house party brick. Which is also rebooting. I don't know if we talked about that, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, that's the Jack Harlow one that they're doing, right?
Jack Harlow's in it?
No, that's He Got Game or White Man Can't Jump that they're doing with Jack Harlow.
Which I'm not. Yeah.
I think they already came out with that house party movie that you talk about too.
Nah, it comes out one day only in the theater, January 15th.
Well, excuse the F out of me. Like, excuse me, I didn't realize you had the details like that. So not only that, I wish I could remember. I think her name is Deidre, the white lady that's in the Empire type of deal. She's kind of got the word from up top that is like Cassian Andor is to be shot dead as soon as he's found, and she's like, no, we need to get him alive because like the whole point of getting Cassian is so that way we could find Atlas, who's Skarsgård. And they're just like, yo, we don't give a damn about Atlas. We don't give a damn about none of this. Cassian is too dangerous to be left alive. He's got to go. So now because of that, she's trying to go against that part of the Empire. So she goes to the planet Ferrix herself because she's like, no, I need to make sure that they don't kill Cassian. Right. Because like I need him for questioning. Because like that's her whole thing is like, yo, we need people in for questioning because that's how we get the real information that we need, type of deal. So now she's down there. We also get there's like a little audio clip playing, and like we start to hear about like, you know, this accident that happened and we can't figure out what the accident's for. But like we learn at the end of the episode, like I don't know if we want to do that now with the Easter egg.
No, that's fine.
I was gonna say is we find out that like they're building the Death Star, which is like the big thing that's like laying over this series is the Death Star, stuff like that. And like that was the accident, and those widgets and those things that they were making in the prison were for the robots that are creating the Death Stars this whole time. So like there's a lot of like analogies and there's a lot of like heavy-handed stuff in here, but it's like a lot of this is like Cassian has literally had a hand in like his own demise and like, you know, the stuff like that, just because like he inadvertently has been doing stuff to get the Death Star completed. So then we come back. Cassian's in hiding. He's trying to figure out how he's going to maneuver to get to the funeral service. He's also trying to figure out, like, he's very confused at the fact that, like, he's like, why has no one gone and rescued Bix already? Right. And, like, you know, they're all just kind of like, yo, like, I guess they never even considered that to be an option. Like, they were just kind of like, yo, like, we can't. So then, like, he has to make a decision in himself. He's like, am I going to rescue Bix or am I going to go to this funeral service? Because I can't do one or the other, because the funeral service is a perfect cover in order for him to go rescue her. But if he doesn't do that, then he doesn't get to pay the respect for her, which is the whole reason that he's there in the first place. Right. So like he's trying
they're covering both ends. They're watching both the funeral and watching Bix.
They're watching both of them. So so the thing about this episode is I feel like they have like 3 fire speeches in here. 3 of like quite possibly the best speeches in all of Star Wars. Okay. I tried to get all of the speeches and I was going to read them all and just talk about like how dope they were and how hype they were. there was a lot in there, and I was like, I could probably just like sum it up type of deal.
Okay.
There is one I'm most certainly gonna read because I was like, it literally brought me to tears like as I was listening to it. So he has a flashback, and it's of his, I guess you would call him a stepfather because it was like who was with Marva, and it's like they're in the shop and they're working, and like he's kind of telling them, or he's telling him about like how, because they're so high up, they don't even bother to look down at the stuff that they got going on, and it's like you can look at that one way where it's just like they think they're so beyond us or so whatever, and you can live like an ant like if you want to, but he's like what that really does is like they're so not used to looking down, it lets you move the way that you need to move to get in and out. And it's like I wish I had the direct quote for it, but I was just like, oof. I was like, for a character we don't see very often, because he's dead and all the other stuff or whatever, I was like, yo, he dropped some knowledge on this bro when he was like super young.
That's one thing Andor was running with. All the black people are dead. And the ones that weren't, they offed them in the first episode.
Hey, but all the Puerto Ricans was around. That's all I'm saying. So then we get, he's in the basement. He's he's finally figured out like where everybody's at. He's figuring out like how he's gonna move, and his brother Brasso comes down. I didn't know his brother's name until this episode, and I was like, I need to learn his brother's name because I really like this brother specifically because of this speech. I was calling him Bruno, like from Popeye, from like all this time, because that's what he looked like. He's just like a bigger dude, but his name is Brasso, and Cassian is still at this point in time not sure of which way that he needs to go. And his brother comes down and he gives him like this nugget, this thing that he needs, and it's like all like as soon as he hears what his brother says, he's like, yo, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Like that's the clarity that I needed. And they hug it out. His brother tells him, he's like, listen, I'm gonna be at the funeral service, I'm gonna put this brick in there, all this other stuff. And like he's arguing back and forth with him. He's like, listen, she told me to tell you this. She's like, she knew that you would say this, and this is what she wanted me to tell you. Tell him.
Not the clearing of the throat.
Tell him none of this is his fault. It was already burning. He's just the first spark of the fire. Tell him he knows everything he needs to know and feels everything he needs to feel. And when the day comes and those two pull together, he will be an unstoppable force for good. Tell him I love him more than anything he could ever do wrong.
It belongs to Andor, not to us. Copyrighted by them.
What, bro? What?
Yeah.
Cole himself couldn't have wrote them bars, bro. What?
On the night you was born?
Yo, what? You know everything that you need to know. You felt everything that you need to feel. And I love you more than anything you could ever do wrong. I was a mess, bro. A mess. And it was like, you want to talk about mommy issues, daddy issues central over here? I was like, oh, God. It's like, yo, this man, like, because that's all it is like you think that you walk through life just disappointing your parents, like all the way around. It's like all I'd ever do is just like, yo, like they must think that I'm the biggest piece of trash or whatever. Because like she kind of tells him, like in the beginning, like she's very much like, yo, you know that you're this and you know that you're that or whatever. And like he's very much like, you never respected me or you never think that I'm gonna be anything. And it's like, no, bro, it's actually quite the opposite. Right. I've known all along how great that you were and how important that like you are. You're the only person who has not figured that out yet. Right. And it's because like you don't listen. And it's like like not only do you not listen to anybody else, you truly don't listen to yourself and like what the things that you need to do right are. And it's like, yo, he hears that and he's just like, yo, bump it, like let's get it rocking. So like now we're at the funeral and it's like, you want to talk about tense,
which is the best moment for me,
is bro,
the funeral is the best moment for me.
It's next level.
That's what I was waiting for.
Because my man B2 comes out and it's like, so the whole thing is like the Empire
is Wally.
The Empire has has told them that they can only do the service for a certain amount of time, and they have to do it at this specific amount of time, even though the traditions state that they're supposed to do it at a specific time. So then it's like the streets is quiet, nothing's going on. Who shows up? But my man on the anvil starts coming over. Whoa, and everybody's like, whoa, like what's going on?
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody starts marching.
Like, oh, it's that time.
The HBCU band comes out and they're like, playing the Flight of the Bumblebee. Hit them with the Flight of the Bumblebee. So like they come out, all of a sudden the march has stopped. The Empire is like they're scrambling now. They're like, yeah, we got to get out there. We got to get out there. These people are marching. They're not stopping or whatever. They finally get to like where they need to go. My man B2 comes out, and what does he do? He pops up with the hologram of Marva, and like she's giving her speech, and I probably should have had it out here, but it's like the end all be all of her speech is she was saying that like it took her a long time to finally wake up to what was going on. And if she could do it all over again, she would have been more woke sooner. And she's like, it's time for everyone to wake up and start fighting, start the fight.
Which I thought was kind of whack because it's like, shit, you're already dead.
It's easy for you to say.
Now you're trying to tell me to rep for you because it's like, I know, I get it, but it's like.
If you remember though, the whole thing that leads to her dying is she gets caught in these like tunnels and stuff like that. And like they're telling her like, why are you down there? And it was like, yo, she was scoping those spots out. That's the spot Cassian literally gets into to hide out, to look into the stuff or whatever. So like, even though like, yo, she was a resistance, she was a fighter, and it was like, she was trying to do as much as she could. And it's like, because of her and everything, but I digress. So in the middle of her giving the speech, cause like, when you with the Empire, you could kind of see where the speech is going because she's getting like a little bit more riled up as it goes along.
But she's like, chat Wally, like no more message for y'all.
Yeah, because like she's whatchamacallit. She's starting to do the thing where it's just like, yeah, the Empire don't belong here. Why are they in your
It's over for you. It's over for you. It's over for you. I ain't got one of those from you in a minute.
Not the R2 screen. Yo,
gonna put hot fire into that man.
Because like, right now. Because first of all, like, Disney knew, because like that is the response. It was like he should have blown up this droid.
Right.
Every single person that was watching that, you better not fucking touch that. I swear to God, I swear if something happens to B2, we will riot type of deal. So he comes over and he flips him, because that's the best he can do. He flips the dog shit out of B2. And like he did like 3 rolls. He came from like dead underneath him and put them right up.
Somebody kicked the ottoman across.
It was good. So, and it was like, that's all it takes. And my man Brusso takes that brick. He's like, yo, Marva, you want to be in this fight? It starts breaking over people's heads, just cracking dudes in there. And so like, because of this, a riot breaks out. And there's a little piece that I forgot to do it. Young Bruno Mars was in there, and like we see him in the beginning, he's been working on something. We know what he's working on.
Bruno was wild out.
So we was like, "Yo, what is Bruno Mars making?" And then we see the little hologram thing, and I'm just like, "Wow, who the hell is that dude?" And it's like as it goes on, I'm like, "Oh, that's his pops. It is one of the dudes that the Empire killed, like when they were originally looking for Cassian, and he's been plotting, boy. Bruno Mars has been plotting, and this man,
like when he did what he did, it came with the intensity that Spike Lee came with when he screamed radio and threw the garbage through Sal's window.
Like it's
radio
frame by frame, bro. It's literally the same intensity and everything, and because at first, like I said, Brusso's hitting them with the brick, like they're punching there's a lot of like physical stuff, like the crowd is moving and stuff like that. Bruno Mars is like, so y'all done brought a knife to a gunfight, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit this pipe bomb that I've been working on, and like when I tell you this man's got Tom Brady level accuracy, and he throws a grenade that lands in a box of other grenades, which turns this street into Cirque du Soleil, bro. Like also like wow, like everybody's flying everywhere. The Empire's on their back. We forgot to talk about they had the brother was trying to snitch on Cassian too, which and it was like he got his too. I was like, not steal.
Not steal.
Hey, hi, Malachi. That's what he did in filthy. That's what he gets for doing the Uchi Coochie.
Right. You ain't never know. Everybody in Andor that told us somebody got popped.
It's like,
I don't know what you thought was about to happen.
So whatchamacallit, like now it's like because of this explosion, like now the Empire's like, oh, now y'all done messed up. And it's like now we fire at will.
Weapons free.
So while this is happening, Cassian is he knows that he's not dumb. he knew that something was going to happen like at this thing, and it was like he can't be there because then one, he takes the focus off of like her speech, stuff like that. But it's like he has more important things to do, and he shows up in one-man rescue missions, Bix, from her encampment, which like. She was in bad shape, bro. She is in bad shape, bro. Like, and like honestly, it takes the Marva speech to like knock her out of it. Yeah. To the point where he's like, "Yo, like let's," because he starts to do the thing. He's like, "Yo, get up, let's go."
Tell Tiny Tim I won't be coming home this Christmas.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of that.
She was somewhere else.
And it was like, he started off with the whole like, let's go. And it's just like, he saw that wasn't working. And then he just kind of sat with her for a minute. And then the speech happened. She hears like a bit of the speech and he's like, are you ready now? And she's like, yo, let's roll out. And it was like, Autobots, let's do this thing. So then they head out. So now the Empire has opened fire like on everybody. Brusso takes it upon himself to grab Bruno Mars, and he's like, yo, we getting up out of here. Like, whatever this is. Our boy Skarsgård was there. He was just like, yo, he was like, I kind of saw where this was going, but I felt like I had to see it through. But he's like, now I'm up out of here. Right. I could have sworn I thought Cassian was going to be here because his whole thing was he was coming to kill Cassian. Right. Because that was like the whole, he's like, Cassian needs to go because they're going to capture him and he will tell our secret. He knows too much. He knows too much. And that's the same thing that the two shorties from the heist mission was there too. And they were doing the same thing. Like, we're just keeping an eye out. We're trying to find Cassian. Everybody in this episode is trying to find Cassian. Right.
He hiding right underneath your nose.
Right underneath everybody's nose in the tunnels that Marva had discovered. Anyways, so like, yo, Brusso picks up B2, he picks up Bruno Mars, he skedaddles and he starts to head over to one of these ships. He's like, yo, we got to get off world or whatever. He pulls up to this plane that's like the most jankiest like plane out there. And whatchamacallit, just as they're getting ready to peel off, B2 does Cassian. And I was like, you son of a bitch. I was like, you got my heart, bro. This fella got my heart, man. So like, he does Cassian, you came. And so like that. And then like he shows up with Bix, he puts them all on the plane. He's trying to tell them directions, and the brother's kind of like, yo, you sound like you not coming. And he's like, yo, I can't. I got other places like I need to be, type of deal. So all of our important people are now on this one plane. There's
he kind of reminds me of C-3PO.
Why C-3PO? Just because he's soft?
Yeah.
He's a baby. He's like B2 or BB-8.
C-3PO was a baby too.
That was a grown ass English man.
He act like a baby though. Like,
that was a sassy bro.
I need you to tighten up. And then when he finally had his tighten up moments, it was kind of like, bro, it wasn't that tough.
He doesn't have the tighten up moments, but like C-3PO gets to your heart,
it
bro.
It reminds me of who's the light skinned dude from the Jamie Foxx show?
Braxton? Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what he is. He says his goodbye to everybody, and like B2 says something to him along the lines of like, you said you would never leave me, or something like that. And he's like, yeah, I gotta go. I need you to take care of everybody else that's on here, stuff like that. And like Bix is in bad shape. And we got Bruno Mars on there who looks like he don't know how to do nothing but make bombs. We got the black lady flying the ship. And Brusso's sitting here and he's like, I'm gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting on this squad. That's all I know is I'm gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting. And Cassian gives her the order. He's like, listen, I want you to ride over the sea, hit the horizon, stuff like that. And then as soon as you hit this part, you climb and you don't look back and you'll get to where you get to. I don't 100% know where they're going. I'm assuming it's like that moon place that he was originally at after the heist. Gotcha. So like maybe that's where they'll be at with the money. We head back to the riot and stuff like that, and the Deidre girl has now been picked up by like the people, and they got her, and she looks shook, bro. Like she was like, yo, I wasn't prepared for this. Is like, yo, like I'm about to meet my end, so on and so forth. And like, who comes and saves her? But like, yo, Captain Save a Ho, Super Cop. I forgot what his name is. And it's like they get into like this supply closet because like how he gets her is like he pretends that he's holding her at gunpoint. Right. He gets her to the supply closet. She almost stabs him in the neck and realizes that it's him. And it is the most most sexual tension I've ever felt anywhere, like, at any point in time. Like there's literal explosions going on in the background, and she's like, and he's just like, I know.
How'd you get here? I know. How'd you know? Because I'm a good cop.
I told you you'd need me. Like it's a very weird relationship. Yes. She reminds me of old girl from Handmaid's Tale, so like that's what I've always been calling her, as Dollar Tree Elizabeth Moss. And then we got Super Cop, and I was like, oh man, they're gonna be the worst couple duo villain thing of all time. But like that, so like that's where we leave them, and so Cassian is now that he's not on the ship, we're trying to be like, where's Cassian going?
Right.
And whatchamacallit, Skarsgård gets to his ship. He's getting ready to take off, and his robot won't take off, and he hasn't figured out why. And it's because Cassian was already on his ship. Why would you park? You're a super spy, and you park your ship in the same spot that you parked in the last time? I don't know. But Cassian's in there, and he turns around, and he's like, and he looks at him, and like they kind of have like this moment where he's like, I know what you were here for, and I know what you're here to do.
Facts.
He's like, so like either do it or don't do it.
Right.
Either way, let's get it shaking. And Skarsgård looks at him, and he's just like, let's fucking roll. And then I was like, let's fucking go. That's Andor. I'm ready for season 2, like tomorrow. Like, let's get it.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great job.
I want to let you know, like, it's been 3 weeks since I've seen it. I was like, I really hope that I'm hitting all the notes that I'm supposed to be hitting.
You did great. You did great. That's why I let you have it.
Absolutely fantastic show.
Yes.
It's going to be in my top 10. I'm going to put it above Scratch. I'm going to let you know that right now.
Okay.
You want to talk about starting 5? This could be a star player to me.
Okay.
I think it's
franchise player.
I think it's an all NBA pick.
Franchise player, huh?
It's up there.
Okay.
It's up there.
I'm going to throw the cultural gem in here.
You throw it in here?
Yeah, I'm going to throw it in here.
Okay.
Just because I know you got some movies that you need to talk about.
There's a lot of movies. I'm going to try to be quick on the movies, though.
All right. I feel like I picked this movie already, but I'm running it back just in case I didn't. And that would put this at number 54, which means I'm a terrible person. But I'm hoping that I got to this already. But it's none other than South Central. OG Bobby Johnson.
My boy OG Bobby Johnson.
Ray got your baby out here stealing car stereos. That's how he got shot in the back. All right. South Central came out with you, I guess, a year?
I'm gonna say 1994.
2 years off.
92?
Yep.
Damn.
92.
This was a movie that was in my DVD collection, and every time the cable went out, we watched South Central like a lot.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like Blade 2, all the rush hours, and South Central.
Right. So our cast for this is Glenn Plummer,
who's OG Bobby Johnson.
Yep. Byron Mims, who's Ray. You got Lexi Bigham. You got Alvin Hatcher. Let me see any other names that people will remember. Probably not.
Bruh.
What?
Did Tulsa King steal its premise from South Central? Because I know you're getting ready to do the plot of South Central, and I'm like, I feel like you kind of just did this with Tulsa King. Well, like, go ahead, do the plot for South Central.
No, not really, because when OG Bobby Johnson came back, he was on some good.
Okay, I give you that.
Yeah, I mean, so all right, so basically what happens is Ray and OG Bobby Johnson are like gang members together. A murder happens. OG Bobby Johnson goes down for the murder.
I love how he's always OG Bobby Johnson.
OG
Never just Bobby Johnson.
Nope, OG Bobby Johnson. While he's doing time, Ray basically takes over the city, and he's got little dudes running around doing little petty crimes for him. He's running drugs, guns, all that extra stuff. And one of those youngsters that is running around town for him is OG Bobby Johnson's son, who he's never met or seen before. So he's basically coming up in the game the same way Bobby and Ray did, and he doesn't want that for his son. So when he eventually comes home, it becomes this whole big issue between Bobby and Ray, not only trying to solidify like their dominance as men, but trying to win the heart of the young man to see like this is the life that we live and what we always got to be in, and Bobby trying to turn the tide of saying, nah, this is not what it has to be like. And it's a pretty impactful movie.
It's literally like two fathers fighting over their son's love.
Facts.
It's really what it comes down to. Like, I think the movie literally ends with the scene of like, you know how like when they put the dog in the middle and be like, whichever one you love most, that's what you go to. It's like kind of what happens. It's like, which way are you going to go? Are you going to go to the dark side or join the light side?
Facts. So it's definitely a must watch. This joint is dope. Sheesh, I don't know where else to go with that, man. Where can you watch it? You can watch it on Tubi. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Google Play Movies. It's on Amazon Prime. And of course, you know it's on that Voodoo.
Gotta be.
It's gotta be
Voodoo, baby.
Voodoo. I don't know. Every time I feel like the sign is different.
It's always different. Because I don't know how to make a D look like it probably. I'm like, is that a D?
Right.
Is that a D or a B? If you're looking at it on there. Voodoo?
It's a D.
All right, so Voodoo, baby.
But it might be flipped when they watch it. I don't know. But either way, yeah, if you got a chance, check out South Central. I mean, holidays is coming up. I would suggest watching the Thugger for
when we get to the whatchamacallit, to the Popcorn Poppy. There's gonna be a lot of movies in here that I'm like, you guys probably should put them in your Christmas movie rotation.
Okay, that's
I'm
what
let
I
you know
like to
that.
hear. That's what I like to hear. Is one of them Die Hard? Because that's the biggest thing now is Die Hard, a Christmas movie.
Reginald Vell Johnson himself, Carl Winslow, had said that it is a Christmas movie.
Christmas movie.
And I think Bruce Willis has said that it's not a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't give two fucks.
If you ask me, I'm going to believe the black man. So on that note, we got to holla at you. We'll be back with part 3 when we on that Popcorn Poppy.
Don't